Why you should get pre-qualified now, even if you're not ready to buy yet. This has always been a mantra that I've shared, and there's a lot of different reasons why, so I'll get into all the reasons. So hang in there. This is not a long video. Let's start with getting pre-qualified. What does that even mean? What does it mean to get pre-qualified? So getting pre-qualified is literally just a due diligence that a loan officer does to see if you can buy a house, okay? We're gonna go through your income, whether you're employed or self-employed or a business owner. We're gonna go through your credit, whether that means you have great credit or maybe you have challenges. We're gonna go through your assets. Do you have enough money to purchase a house? Are you gonna be using a down payment assistance? Are you gonna be getting a gift? A lot of different ways to toss that up. So getting pre-qualified literally just lets you know where you stand right now. Can you buy or can't you buy? If you can buy, we'll determine how much that budget is. We'll figure out what your max purchase price is. We'll make sure everything makes sense. So if you decide to go shopping, you know what your limitations are, okay? So getting pre-qualified basically just lets you know where you're at. Now, what if you have challenges? This is where it gets really important. What if you had credit challenges in the past, but this past few years, you've been doing pretty good? Maybe you were behind on some debts a little while ago and you're trying to get caught up. Maybe your credit isn't ready. So getting pre-qualified allows you to figure out what the problems are so you can work on solving them, okay? If it's credit, we'll help you. We'll identify the challenge, the issue, we'll let you know what it is, we'll share the data, and then we'll give you a plan of how to solve that, how to correct it. Same thing with the income. Maybe you make enough money, maybe you don't. Maybe you need a cosigner. Maybe you need to pay down some debt. Maybe you do need to save some more money. So getting pre-qualified isn't a commitment. You're not saying, I'm ready to buy a house, I'm gonna buy a house now, I'm gonna sign on the dotted line. When you get pre-qualified, there's no commitment. There's nothing. I've pre-qualified people that have never purchased a house, never gone shopping, just because they wanted to know exactly where they stand. If they could buy a house, how much could I buy? What does my payment look like? Do I have a down payment? Do I qualify for down payment assistance? Or maybe you're a veteran. Maybe you don't even know that these benefits exist, because as a veteran, you can do a VA loan with zero down, and that's the guideline. They don't ask for money. You can put money down if you want, but you don't have to, okay? So getting pre-qualified lets you know exactly where you stand. Option one, you're qualified. You choose to go shopping, it's up to you. Second one is you're not qualified. We'll identify the reason why you're not qualified. We'll share it with you, and we'll teach you how to solve it, okay? That's the number one reason. The worst thing ever is someone not pre-qualified and they just pop into an open house on the weekend, husband and wife, maybe a couple of kids, and they're like, this is the one. Wow, the garage, the kitchen, enough room for all the kids, a place to call home. We could put the Christmas tree right there. It's gonna look beautiful. And then you talk to a lender and you're not qualified and you lose the home of your dreams, okay? You don't want that to happen. So that's the first reason. Now, when you're house hunting, of course, you need to get pre-qualified because you want to know that you're shopping in the right budget. The next thing is you don't want to be looking at a house that you can't afford. And if you want to have a plan of how to get there, we can do that. But a lot of people are just shopping out of range. You know, I want to buy a $500,000 house, but I can truly only afford $300,000. So you want to get that dialed in too, okay? Now, the other thing it does is it allows you to put in an offer. Let's just say you're not ready. You got pre-qualified, they did the work, you filled out the application, you submitted us documentation, we took a look at it and we said, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, approved, you can go house hunting. And you just said, you know what, we're not really there yet, but thank you, we know where we stand, we'll call you when we're ready. That happens a lot. But then the next weekend shows up and there's an open house at a place that you've kind of been eyeballing, you know, going back and forth, dropping Johnny off at school, and you pop in and you go, holy cow, this is what we want. This is the neighborhood we want to be in. We do want to place an offer. You're ready. You're not behind. You're not going to lose this house to another person who's ready because you're ready. The other thing is you don't want to wait too long. Okay, you don't want to wait too long. Why? Because home prices just keep going up. They just keep going up every single year. Okay. I've had this conversation with many people. I did a video on this not long ago where someone told me, you know, I was ready 2 years ago. I just didn't pull the trigger for whatever reason, but they were qualified. They're qualified and they're off shopping now. They haven't gotten into a house yet, but they would have been in a house already for a couple of years, and they would have been able to take advantage of the tax savings because your interest can be tax deductible. Talk to your CPA about that, which puts more money in your pocket at the end of the year. And also the taking advantage of the equity build. So that house, could have cost you $400,000 2 years ago, but is now worth $450,000, maybe $500,000, and that's equity building, okay? So you don't want to lose those opportunities. But the most important thing you want to know when you're getting pre-qualified is it just lets you know where you stand, okay? And more importantly, people have challenges that they don't even know about. They don't know about these challenges. They don't know that their child support issue they had a few years ago is still showing up on their credit report. So we have to solve that. They don't know that, maybe they were married and got a divorce, and let's say that one spouse was responsible for certain debts and just didn't pay them. Now it's showing up on their credit report. They don't know that the way they get paid could be an issue. Not always, but it could be an issue. They don't know that you may need a 2-year history. You do need a 2-year history for traditional financing, but they don't know that. Maybe they've only worked there for 1.5 years. Or maybe they've been there for 5 years and didn't realize that that's more than enough time. Another one is college. A lot of people go to college, get a 4-year degree, a bachelor's, maybe even a master's or a doctorate. But once they get out, that's work history. They've never held down a job, but your college time is work history. So getting pre-qualified solves all these problems, okay? Now remember, this isn't for the person who's just like, I'm getting pre-qualified because the guy said so. This is for the people that have had the thought already, that have had the conversations. Maybe you saw your friends buy a house and they're in their mid-20s and you're like, wow, you bought a house? Maybe I can buy a house. That's what pre-qualifying does, is it takes all that thought and doubt out of your mind and it lets you know exactly where you stand. And the most brilliant thing is, I keep reiterating this, I didn't know I had that challenge, but now I'm on the right path to solving it. So when I solve this, I will be ready to purchase. I'll get pre-qualified and I'll pull the trigger when the time is ready. Okay, when the time is right. Nobody can make you buy a house. Nobody can make you buy a house. You can only buy a house when you're ready. I do recommend home ownership because there's so much benefits to it, and the pride in it alone is huge. But getting pre-qualified ahead of time makes a lot of sense. Even if you have a plan, you know that in a year from now, I want to buy a house. 2 years from now, I want to buy a house. Even if that's in your mind, get pre-qualified now. And here's the best part. It doesn't impact you negatively. So when we do a credit pull, it's not a hard credit pull. It's a soft credit pull, which means those hard inquiries that you guys hear about, that you hear your friends say, don't do a hard pull, okay? That's not the thing. We do a soft pull. So we're able to see your debts, we're able to see your credit scores, but it doesn't equate to a hard pull, so you don't get that inquiry on your credit when you look at Credit Karma or any of those online apps that you have, which are fantastic, by the way, because it allows you to monitor your credit and lets you know kind of where you're at and what's reporting, and stuff pops up from time to time. But there's no wonder, okay? Now, getting pre-qualified is an easy process. It's super easy. All you're investing is a little bit of time, just a little bit of time. For us, if you're not savvy on a computer, we can take it over the phone. It's that easy. If you are a little savvy on your computer, just a little savvy, it allows you to take your time, okay? It allows you to take your time. So you don't have to rush through it. There's no timestamp on it. If it takes you a day, 2 days, a week, that's fine too. We work at your pace. There's no rush on our side. I talk to a lot of people in the military because we do a ton of VA loans. And they're like, well, I'm getting deployed, so when I get back, that's a thing. Or I got a lot on my schedule, so can I get to it later? Yeah, of course. That's not a problem. So a little bit of time on the application, and then it asks you for some income documentation. Okay, very minimal though. Last 2 years W-2s, last 2 paycheck stubs, that's the most important stuff. It'll ask for some bank statements and an ID and stuff like that. But it's totally easy. You can do it from your cell phone. You can do it from a computer. It's not an intrusive one either, so you don't have to, do a lot of work. Like I said, very minimal invested. It doesn't impact your credit score. You don't pay us. That's a big one. It's not going to cost you any money. It's just going to cost you a little bit of time. I hope this helped. If you want a more in-depth idea of where you stand, give us a call. Our number's in the description. I'd like to talk with you. DM us, call us, email us, whatever works best. I hope you guys have good luck in your home buying ventures, and I hope you choose us to help you. But if not, I hope this helped. Have a great one.